As Australia's fastest open-wheeler category, the Australian Formula 3 Championship has long been the springboard to future success for a number of drivers over the years. But some take up Formula 3 to experience what wings and slicks racing is all about, like R-Tek Motorsport's Nathan Kumar. Stepping into Formula 3 has been a huge learning experience for Kumar. Thankfully, he's had the guidance of team boss Ian Richards, who has helped him along the way with his racecraft both on and off the track. The view looking over Bass Strait here. It is one of the most picturesque circuits you'll ever see, the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuits. We welcome you back for some awesome wings and slicks action now. The Australian Formula 3 Championship on track for the next round of their championship, and a major player is back in the game, Richard Crail.
Yeah, Matt Nolte, great to have Tim Macro back, a double Formula 3 champion back in the field this weekend, racing for Alpine Motorsport. But here's the point situation. After some very tense motor racing this year, there's not much between John Collins and Ricky Capo going into the penultimate round. Luke Spalding has wrapped up the national class title for season 2015 for the bestjet.com Pure More Racing team. But the story this weekend is all about Tim Macro. He started his weekend going under the qualifying record and grabbing pole position. He then went on to win his 29th career Formula 3 race in race 1. However, he starts this one, Matt, from 4th place because we switched the top 4 around after that race 1 order. So Roland Legg will grab this one from pole position, which elevates Ricky Capo to the front row. John Collins, the points leader, from the second row of the grid, Macro from 4th, and then the rest of the field. So the opening laps of this should be very interesting.
On board with John Collins, getting set for a start here at Phillip Island. This is absolutely Formula 3 country as the lights are set to go out. Brilliant start from Macro here as we get underway in race number 2.
Oh, great start, and goes to second straight away. Roland Legg immediately dives to the white line on the inside of the road to cover off the race lead. There's Paul Scott, the GP race gear, Adidas car. He's through, but Legg leads them. Capo back to 3rd. Collins, the points leader, only 4th in the McDonald's Gilmore racing car, or is it? Because he sails around the outside at the southern loop and grabs 3rd. Good start.
I love the cold tyre confidence. I mean, this is not a track to be messing with when you've got cold tyres, but these guys are driving like it's lap 6 already. On board with Collins and looking ahead here, trying to pull a pass on the outside. It's lap 1, boys.
And the R-Tek Motorsport driver with sponsorship from James Rosenberg Racing, Roland Legg, the youngster from Mackay in Far North Queensland, blocks his line and holds onto the race lead, but Macro is right up behind the rear diffuser of the later model Dallara that's in front. But Tim, who's driving an ex-Team BRM car that Denny Rumble's Alpine Motorsport team now owns, has plenty of pedigree, more than 100 starts in his career in this category, 2 championships, 29 race victories. The stats go on, and he's trying to wrestle the lead away from a youngster out in front.
Oh, Collins going to get squeezed here.
That's a big move. That's an enormous move, Matt Nolte.
Wow.
Ricky Capo from nowhere in the Johnny King Dallara.
So we're watching Collins trying to carve his way through the field, and all of a sudden, here's Ricky Capo on the scene, and he's pulling away from John Collins. Keep in mind, these two guys are battling for the championship here.
Yeah, 1st and 2nd in the championship, but the leader is P4 at the moment, but he got a very good run out of turn 12.
Oh, no.
The leaders are side by side as well. 257 k's an hour at turn 1. Absolutely flat, grabs the position away. Meanwhile, Legg grimly holding on to this race lead and doing everything he can to keep Tim Macro behind him.
Look at the left front tyre of Capo's car. They're already 1.5 laps into it, and so he's starting to show some pretty significant graining on there. Now a challenge for the lead as they run down to Honda Hairpin.
How good is this? Around the outside, Macro, but Legg is up for that, and Collins gets his 3rd spot back by squeezing Ricky Capo wide on the exit of turn 4. This is some kind of motor race, and we're only a couple of laps in.
This is great stuff. You don't need 26 cars on the grid sometimes. You just need a handful of really quality drivers like you're seeing today at Phillip Island to turn on some wicked racing. As Macro fancies a shot down the inside here at Lukey Heights. He's going to be on the wrong side of the course here, but drives along defensively. Down.
He's got it. He's
Brilliant.
got the lead. Unbelievable from Macro. He's just got so much confidence on cold Kumos.
Oh.
And look at Capo trying to get John Collins for 3rd. So Macro now finds himself in front. Ricky Capo back to 2nd. And I think John Collins might have something to say about that. maybe before they get to the start-finish line, because he gets great drive out of 12. He's in the toe, and he should be able to slipstream his way past.
Great run from Roland Legg here today too. We're on board with the R-Tek Motorsport entries. He speeds his way down to turn one, just 2 bites of the cherry. That corner on TV has been passed by Collins there on the outside. That corner, you can't explain how quick that corner actually is to your seat in real life.
Well, it is absolutely flat out in these cars, Matt Nolte. They do not lift, and it's 255 k's an hour at the exit. And now Ricky Capo trying to work his way past Roland Legg on the replay HD onboard camera. Good pass down the inside. That's the simplest pass Ricky Capo's made the entire motor race, but finally gets himself to third place. Macro, meanwhile, starting to clear out in front.
I think I need to lay down home. It's only early days. God.
Good motor race. Really good motor race. And Roland Legg from first to fourth. But gee, fought for it, didn't he? Broke through for his first career Formula 3 victory at Queensland Raceway just a month ago. Driving for R-Tek Motorsport in that ex-Ryken and Robertson Racing Dallara, and backs it into MG's not giving up yet.
The first 4 have settled down. Let's take a look at the start here. Tim Macro's perspective. He's done a few of these over his career, and that was a belter of a start from the second row for the Alpine Motorsport entry.
Yeah, Legg was switched onto that though, because he moved right down to that white line on the inside straight away, because he knew that someone would try and attack him on that run into turn one. This is Capo. Bit of wheel spin, and that's what allowed Macro to go through. And that's a perfect shot looking out to his championship rival John Collins in that red and white McDonald's Gilmore racing car. But Capo fought really hard on cold tyres. And how good is this? Battling for the lead into MG.
Brilliant shots. Fantastic shots here. The top 4 in the Australian Formula 3 Championship. This is from Roland Legg's perspective as he just got out of the groove there, and it allowed the pass to happen. He tried the outside switch here, and very few have pulled that off over the years, but great start to this race from these guys. Well done to everyone. So
Lukey Heights, Matt, it's 225 k's an hour in one of these cars, and on new tyres it's just about flat. So it's an awesome bit of road. Proper commitment aero corner. And Macro's done the business. And here's Legg. He slipped to 4th place. I know he's got more dramas because there's no drive there all of a sudden.
And that happened well and truly before he got to Southern Loop. And after a brilliant start, Roland Legg's R-Tek Motorsport entry is coming to a standstill. Right parallel to Bass Strait. What a shame.
Well, he'll be out of harm's way, so we shouldn't see a safety car in that. He's a long way to the side of the road, but there was no drive in that car, and he was playing around with the gear selector just to the bottom right of the steering wheel. Couldn't get any drive, and unfortunately he's pulled to the side of the road. So the youngster from Queensland out of the motor race, having fought so bravely for the race lead in the opening laps. We're on board with Tim Macro. Not much of a lift of the throttle over MG, and the braking zone into MG corner. So Lukey Heights into MG, into 11. It's flat from here, and they're flat for 32 seconds, Matt Nolte, from the exit of MG all the way down to the Southern Loop.
It's an amazing amount of time. The downforce of these cars, absolutely incredible. They hit this Gardner Straight at Phillip Island. You're watching one of the real legends of open wheel racing, particularly Australian Formula 3 over the years. He's been helping out with some of the drivers this year in the championship. I said to him at Queensland, when are we going to see you back in the car? He goes, oh man, I can't wait to get back behind the wheel of a car. Well, he's doing that today in the car that Denny Rumble has just purchased for the Alpine Motorsport team.
So Southern Loop, flat from here down to Honda. The only break at 3 points at this racetrack, on the entry to the Southern Loop, on the entry to this corner, and then a little dab of the brakes into Siberia, but then the next big stop is MG. So the replay XD camera is showing us the way around Phillip Island, the fastest way around Phillip Island. Let's ride with him past the hay shed. There was no lift there. That was just momentum slowing the car down and dropping the revs a little bit, but that was flat over Lukey Heights, I should say, at 225 kilometres an hour. What a ride.
just a dab of the brakes in these cars. And the other cars we see during the coverage, it's a long break down to there. It's just a dab of the brake of these cars onto this long main straight with Tim Macro. The gap's about 2 seconds to John Collins now. Macro's seen the fastest lap of the race there, 1:25.17 earlier on as he starts the final lap of the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit in race 2.
They had designs on the outright lap record this weekend, and he actually went under it in qualifying with a 1:24.1. It was an unbelievable lap. We've never gone into the 23s here in Formula 3 cars, and he thought it was possible, but qualifying was shortened, red flagged a little bit early. So he didn't quite get that, but conditions just not quite conducive this weekend to the lap record. But man, he's been good this weekend. It's great to have him back. And what about John Collins? For his championship situation, this is very important. He's just got to keep finishing in front of Ricky Capo, who continues to apply the pressure. And the way the point standings works, this result actually works more to the favour of Ricky Capo because there's a points gap between first and second in this race. There's not much of a gap between second and third. So Capo, who's in third place, isn't giving away much room in the championship battle.
How much these guys pulled away from the field. It's 7 seconds between Collins and Capo. They were front wing to rear wing just a few laps ago. But he's going to have to settle for second because this guy is on his way to a history-making win.
This will be win number 30 in his illustrious Formula 3 career. It ties him up with another two-time champion, James Winslow, at the top of the all-times win list. It's Tim Macro, a winner again at Phillip Island. What a return it's been. The second win for Alpine Motorsport and Denny Rumble's team in Australian Formula 3. And there's Capo in third place. A PB in his career for Nathan Kumar to finish fourth. Paul Scott fifth. Shervington sixth. Gearbox woes have ruled Roland Legg out of the race. He failed to finish and was not classified.
Yeah, we're going to keep it going. I've got to thank Denny Rumble and the Alpine Motorsports team. They've done a fantastic job with the car. It's their first weekend with the car. I'm basically here helping them, help them get used to the car, do a little bit of setup stuff, and obviously have a drive and try and win for them.
Great performance by Tim Macro this weekend. He looked to make it a hat-trick of victories on his F3 comeback and get clear in that all-times win tally when we came to race 3. He made the best start and led the field down to turn 1, but John Collins, Matt Nolte, fought early and went around the outside at turn 1.
And this was the big moment for Nathan Kumar, who destroyed the front wing on his entry. Car number 7 spun his way off the racetrack down there. Could have been a much wilder moment. And just ran wide. Cold tyres outside the course. It's dirty out there. Look at the wing just disintegrate on car number 7.
Yeah, big lump in the grass when they get down there, and unfortunately for Nathan, that ended his otherwise very strong weekend. So John Collins led the opening lap, but it didn't last too long for the Sydney sider. Tim Macro didn't waste any time in getting by, towed his way past the McDonald's Gilmore Racing entry and grabbed a race lead that he'd never lose.
Collins saw that coming, didn't he? Just thought, nah, let him go. I'll sit back behind in the slipstream. But yeah, in the end, it was going to be a 4-second win for Tim Macro as he come out the final turn here and just dominates this weekend at Phillip Island.
And that race win, his 31st of his career, moves him clear of James Winslow at the top of the all-time winners list. 2 championships, 31 career victories. His remarkable F3 career continues. Collins builds his points margin over third place Ricky Capo in the Johnny King Racing Delara with third place. Paul Scott fourth and Trent Shervington completed the top 5.
It's been absolutely fantastic. You can't get a better weekend than that. We top every session. We got fastest laps in every race. It doesn't get much better.
There's the points. John Collins now. It's just starting to stretch away a little bit from Ricky Capo. Trent Shervington and Roland Legg will battle that out for the rest of the championship. Shane riding Tim Macro straight in the 6th position in this year's championship. National points, Luke Spalding, as we said earlier, wrapping up the championship this year. Denny Rumble, Nathan Kumar, who had that big off in race 3, Roman Crummins, and Andrew Vlodek in 5th position.
A great weekend of Formula 3 racing, and the championship will go down to the wire once again as they